Hello, and welcome to The Way We All Go. This is a horror romance visual novel about our protagonist trying to navigate his relationship between his two strange childhood friends, one of whom might be a yandere, which always goes well, doesn't it? Anyway, let's start a new game. I really think you should tell her, I know, but are you scared? My eyes flicker open. Wake up in the compartment of a train. Head is leaned back against my seat. Strand of drool dripping from the corner of my mouth. Ugh. What? Wincing, I wipe it away with the back of my hand. Drooling at my age? That isn't very mature. Thought I stopped doing that when I was a kid. Need to get it together. Act more like an adult. That's what I keep telling myself, but never seems to work. That's particularly why I decided to take this trip alone. It isn't some kind of crazy coming-of-age, quest for maturity kind of adventure, though. Not going to a far-off land and slay dragons or all sorts of stones or anything. Doubt I could do that even if I tried. I'm just going to visit my grandparents, live all the way out in the countryside. That's all. Still, I think it'll be nice going back home. I've only been away for 2 years, but it almost feels like a whole lifetime. Wonder if anything will be different. 2 years might seem like a short amount of time, minuscule when you consider how old the Earth is, but a lot of things can change over a period of only a few days, let alone years. Hope her mood's okay. It'll be strange seeing her face again. She has sent me some photographs, but a photo isn't the same as seeing a person in real life. No wonder. My head against the window, staring outside. The rough movement of the train jerks my head against the glass, bumping my forehead and knocking my teeth together with the chatter, but I disregard it. I can see fields, dyed dark blue under the evening sky. Not in the city anymore. Far away from my new house, my new school, new friends. Sakai, Miho, and Yuna. What are they doing right now? Kai with a love of horror stories. Miho who always scores the highest in karaoke. Yuna who wears red ribbons in her hair. Here's wanting to sleep in class. But those idle thoughts soon fade away. I'm going back home. Maybe I'll see her. She was always so quiet, never talking to anyone other than me. Will she be any different now? I hope she's at least made a few new friends. If she hasn't, then would it be my fault? No, that's no good. Why am I roaring already? Haven't even made it to the village yet. Stupid. I chastise myself, shaking my head in an attempt to dissuade my steadily mounting feelings of guilt. Don't want to ruin my trip before it even begins. But if I did, it wouldn't be too surprising. Maybe I deserve to feel bad. I should have told her. Why didn't I tell her? Because she was scared. Well, listen to my breath. Doesn't matter. Nobody can hear me. I'm the only person on the train after all. Darling, welcome back. It's good to see you again, lad. You want a hand with your luggage? I stand outside the small, dilapidated train station, gripping my single suitcase tight in my hand. Since I'm only going to be here for 3 days, I didn't bother to pack much. I can make do with only a few pairs of underwear and my pajamas. I don't need anything else. Grandpa's standing before me. They come to greet me at the station with wide smiles, confident in their familiarity. Home is only 5 minutes away from the station, so they didn't need to bring in the car. This is probably a good thing. All I keep saying, my grandfather's eyesight is getting worse and worse. Nowadays he can hardly read the newspaper without the aid of his thick glasses, which he hardly ever wears, given he keeps losing them. And yet he is still allowed to drive a car, something he frequently does, according to my mother, just so he can feel superior to other people. Yeah, people like that should not be allowed to drive cars. That's why I believe that after a certain age, like let's say after you're 60, you should go for your driver's license again to check if you're actually able to drive. Because there's situations like this where, yeah, your body starts failing you and you can't really do driving well, like being able to see for one thing, and like reflexes and all that. So yeah, anyway, at least this is a fairly rural area, so there aren't all that many cars around here. There's probably a lot of trees and other foliage, and quite a lot of ditches. You don't need to carry anything, Grandpa. I'm good. Turn my grandfather's smile and make a show of lifting my suitcase, trying to prove that I can handle it. He, however, seems skeptical. Nonsense. Made all that effort to come out here, and on that blasted train too. Must be exhausted. Ah, fine. Not a child anymore. Grandfather peers at me, frowning. Maybe he's trying to verify the validity of my statement. What if he's forgotten how old I am? What's this? It still looked like a youngster to me. Hey, I am 16, and I'm older than 60. Gulf between us is as wide as the Kitakami River. My grandmother giggles. Come now, dear, don't be silly. You're getting old, and your eyes aren't what they used to be. Nonsense. Eyes are just fine, Chio. And yet you keep wearing that ugly shirt. The shirt isn't ugly. Very cutting edge, I'll have you know. All the youngsters are wearing them. Our dear grandson isn't wearing one. To his detriment. It adds to the man's natural charm and shows off his true character. Shows he's starting to get seen now, perhaps. Chio can be a very cool mistress. Now, don't bully Attic-chan too much, you old boy. I'm just saying it like how I see it, Chio. To me, he'll always be a brat. On the contrary, I think he's growing up to be rather handsome. Handsome? I don't know about that. Oh, you know what they say? Good things come in small packages. Well, you see, you're just being modest. I know being short is the same thing as being modest. I'm talking about the height, not the other packages. I like how it wasn't a conscious decision I made. If anything, I'd like to be a couple inches taller. Me too. Me too. That way I wouldn't get teased so much. Being the shortest boy in your class can be pretty depressing. Nobody likes being picked last when teams are being formed in PE. Nobody likes being laughed at. I'm not really modest, you know. I think you are. You're just proving my point, dear. Well, Irai has raised you well. Such a little gentleman. Little being an operative word. You must get it from your side of the family, Chiyo. You've always been tiny, haven't you? Yes, yes. I simply have a weak constitution. See, even though he's 2 years older now, he's still a runt. I think you should let me carry your case, lad. It's for your own good. How about I knock you down a couple of pegs, Grandpa? No, I'd feel bad. Didn't need to put yourself out for me. Grandmother grins, beckoning me close. Follow her crooked finger and she leans in towards me, whispering in my ear. Don't mind him, dear. He just wants to show off. Let him carry your case. It'll give us something to boast about with the neighbors later. Oh, well, that's how it is. No matter how old this man gets, he's just a child at heart. Grandmother and I laughed together, co-conspirators, before I turned my attention back to my grandfather. Alright, I reconsider. I guess I am a little tired from the journey. You can carry my case if you want. Excellent. I see you took some sense into it, Chiyo. You used your feminine charms, did you? Even at the age of 80, I still have it in me. It must be all the homegrown vegetables we eat. They're good for your skin, better than the vegetables those so-called supermarkets. You got that right. No tomatoes taste as good as yours, Chiyo. My grandparents laughed together, sounding so carefree. I feel something lift from the pit of my stomach. Could it be the anxiety? I started to get worried during my journey here, but maybe those fears were unfounded. Simply seeing my grandparents has made me feel more at ease. Guess I really do belong here. Where I was born, after all. How was the journey down here, darling? It was fine. Took a while, so it was a little tiring, but other than that, yes, it really is a long journey. It's 6 hours or so, isn't it? Something like that. I had to change a few times though, and wait around for a while. So maybe it was more like 7? 7 hours? Grandmother touched disapprovingly. You poor dear, must have been dreadful. You need to eat more. Here, take this. You wouldn't be a grandmother if you weren't trying to convince your grandson to eat more. Thanks. I look at my loaded plate with suspicion. Even though grandmother said all that stuff about me being grown up and handsome, did she really believe it? If she did, why did she make me so much food? That's grandmotherly duties for you. It looks like she's trying to feed up a starving kitten. Weren't many people on the train though. For the last 2 stations, I was the only one. It wasn't too stressful. Well, this is a very small village. Not many people come up here. More and more people have been leaving. Huh? But why? Because there aren't enough jobs to go around. Means there's no reason to stay. Because there aren't yeah, now most of what's left here is just us old people. It's really sad. Don't think I should ever like to leave. It's just so peaceful. And the green beans that grow in these parts are the best you can find. Even here they're going to discontinue the train line here. Guess it makes sense, as it's hardly ever used. The current track is getting old. Huh. That's really sad. I pick up my dinner despondently. You know, I don't live here anymore. Hearing this village is starting to decline is just a little depressing. All my childhood memories were created here. A single precious moment of my youth. Going out for walks in the forest, catching cicadas in the summer with a net and an empty mayonnaise jar. My extravagant and slightly unrealistic plans to build a tree house with a moo, which never managed to become a reality. And, of course, it was her, my best friend, Noelle. Hey, Ak-chan. God, it's been too long. Kai's voice, very quietly sarcastic as ever, come through to me from the other end of the phone. Phones in my grandparents' home is fairly old, more of an antique than a fully functional means of communication, and it distorts her voice, just as ripples across water can mar a reflection. Even so, I recognize it. How could I not? Kind term could only belong to Sakai to the Sakai I know, and sort of with a certain amount of fear and love. I smile, shaking my head. It's acting like she hasn't seen me in years. It hasn't been that long. Only a couple of days. It feels like an eternity. I've been so bored. I'm sitting on the floor, cross-legged, the cord on the phone snaked around my lap. Hair is down from the bath and my face feels slightly flushed. I think I've used a little too much hot water. I've always loved hot baths ever since I was a kid. Sometimes I go overboard, emerge from my long soaks on uneasy legs, skin bright pink and puckered like a prune. I yawn, holding one hand up against my mouth, shift slightly, balancing the phone against my shoulder, and the crooks of my neck. How can you be bored? Have all those brothers and sisters to look after, don't you? Ugh, don't remind me. I only just got them all off to bed. So unfair. My parents wanted to go off on a romantic holiday and then they should have thought twice before having so many kids. Why should I have to stay behind and look after them just because I'm the oldest? But you wouldn't have wanted to go on holiday with them either, would you? With my parents? Of course not. I'd rather die. Did you know they're going to Okinawa? Who wants to go to Okinawa? I went there on a school trip a few years ago, a complete tourist trap. Taking merchandise everywhere. It's all so bright and noisy. Not to mention the weather. Kai has a very pale complexion, which she guards jealously. She always slathers on sunscreen, inches thick. Never so much as a single glint of sunshine can be seen peeking out from behind a cloud. And I don't know why you're so unhappy. You didn't want to go with them in the first place, then there's no problem, right? That's the principle of the thing, that's all. I'm hurt. They didn't even invite me, because they knew you wouldn't want to go. I still wouldn't like an invitation. Would at least have given the vague illusion that my company is in high demand this holiday. What about Miho and Yuna? Yuna went to stay with her big sister for a few days, and Miho's out camping with her parents. Sky sighs. This is so pathetic. I'm the only one who doesn't have anything to do. Not a single thing. Taking care of your sons is a noble job. Yeah, noble. Sakai laughs dryly, without any trace of humor. You think watching reruns of Heidi for hours on end is noble? Then sure. I kind of like Heidi. I know the whole series on VHS. Used to rewatch it regularly, even up until my early teens, when I was feeling bad. That is, until my mother rummaged through my bedroom when I wasn't home and threw all my old VHS tapes out. Pretty sore about that time. Still am, actually. Most of those shows don't get aired on TV anymore. I liked it too, but that was when I was 5. But most of his siblings are 5. I know, so depressing I could scream. However, I will refrain, because that would wake the monsters up again. This sounds rough. You have no idea. I hadn't known a true torture until you had the task of putting your 4 young children to bed. Having met Sakai's siblings several times during my trips to her home, no better than to berate her. Although I genuinely like young children, Sakai's siblings are unlike else altogether. They're more like gremlins than cute kids, and they're so loud too. There's no wonder Sakai always has such dark bags under her eyes. Having a small home filled with tiny children, prone to waking up in the very early hours of the morning, slipping into their sister's bed, must be incredibly exhausting. It's getting so bad I'm starting to think Okinawa would be better after all. Okinawa? What a joke. Why couldn't they go somewhere classy, like France or Italy? And if it absolutely had to be Japan, then Ginza would definitely be the best choice. I just have, no sense of style. None whatsoever. Sigh. Anyway, hope you're having a good time at least. I'm not entirely sure yet. I only just got here. Train journey was that long? Yeah, 7 hours or so. I would hate that so much. Cranked up on a train with strangers coughing on me. It really wasn't that bad. Pretty quiet, really. That's good, I suppose. More than can be said for my day. A pause. Hey, Ak-chan. What is it? Hope you have a good time on your trip. Honestly. I'm not just saying it. Yeah, I know. Hope you get along well with your friends. Your old friends. And, shuffle around trying to get comfortable. My bare feet, toes twitching, and starting to feel strange, slightly heavy. Have they gone numb from sitting cross-legged on the wooden floor for so long? If you feel overwhelmed, you can always call me. Probably won't be doing anything interesting anyway. And you think, I'd appreciate having someone to talk to other than the mothers at the local playground. Sure. I'll try to keep in contact if I have time. But I am going to be back in 3 days. Just try to hold on out until then. I'll do my best. 3 days of endless Heidi reruns and pillow fights and takeout pizza. I'll have to grin and bear it, I suppose. Unless Sakai grins very often. That would conflict with her pale-skinned, dark-eyed, Eternal Queen of the Night appearance. Oh, and one more thing. Make sure you bring me back a souvenir. Need some kind of excitement lingering on the horizon to get me through this living nightmare. Otherwise, I might snap and stab myself in the eye with a wax crayon. Man, she is dramatic. Lying on my futon, staring up at the ceiling, at the living room ceiling. There we go. Since my grandparents' house is pretty small, there was nowhere to put me other than here. Still, I don't mind. Reminds me of the times when I was a child. I used to stay here overnight when my parents were busy. I lie on this same futon, in the same living room, the light turned on, reading comics and eating slices of stolen tangerines. My fingers would always get stained with yellow from the rind of the tangerine. Never had the foresight to wash it off before I went to sleep. Grandmother would see my yellow fingers in the morning, see the missing tangerines, but she never scolded me. Instead, she asked in an overly theatrical tone of surprise, where had the tangerines all gone? And I'd say, I don't know, maybe it was a bear. They were really fun times. I'm not 10 anymore. Getting older and I'm too big for this futon now. Tips of my toes are poking out from under the sheets. Close my eyes and curl up into a ball, listening to the sounds of the cicadas outside. Windows are all shut, but I can still hear them. This is something I forgot after living in the city for so long. Small details vanish from my mind, as though they were never there at all. No matter where you live, there always is background noise. The city is cars and drunken arguments at 2 a.m. outside your apartment. The countryside is cicadas. Cicadas and the wind. Snuggle under my blanket. For some reason, I feel cold. Not just my toes. All of me. My whole body. I shiver. Maybe it isn't the weather. Maybe it's my mind. Probably overthinking things. I always do. Thinking about tomorrow. Thinking about her. I should have told her. Why didn't I tell her? Last thought I have before I fall into a deep, dreamless sleep. Sunlight streams through the window. I feel like brushing against my face, trying to snake itself through my closed eyes. Curl up even tighter into a ball like a hibernating hedgehog. New day crept upon me far too fast. I haven't had any time to prepare myself yet. Still tired and my feet are cold. That's what I get for sleeping on a futon. Slightly too small for me, I guess. I can't hear any cars. Can't hear any people. Everything is still quiet. Maybe too quiet. I start to fantasize, making up imaginary scenarios of natural disasters, nuclear war, a zombie apocalypse. Where have all the people gone? It takes me a few moments to remember where I am. Not in the city anymore. I sigh, breathing in the cool country air. It's invigorating, waking me up more thoroughly than a bucket of cold water could. Now then, where should I go? Who should I see? Moo told me in a letter I received a few days ago that she was going to spend most of her golden week working in her parents' cafe. It's only 11 a.m, seems likely she'll be there. In that case, if I want to pay her a visit, I should take my old bike out from my grandparents' back garden, take her for a ride. It takes about 40 minutes to reach the town where the cafe is by bike, probably slightly longer if I walk. I've been on a bike in a long time. Thinking about it makes me feel a bit nostalgic. Wind in my hair, the scent of the flowers in the fields, the earth under my tires. It's an enticing idea, but on the other hand, it's always Noelle. I definitely owe her a visit. Yet, it's been so long. Can't help but feel anxious. But I know one thing is certain. I keep deliberating like this, I don't get anything done. So who do I visit? Okay, I reckon we go visit Noelle. Might as well get it out of the way and overdone with. What could possibly go wrong, right? I stand in front of that house for the first time in 2 years. It feels almost unreal, like a dream. The only thing that reassures me that is reality is the anxious beating of my heart, not a worry curled up inside my chest. I want to turn, I want to run, but I know I despise myself for it. Come this far already, I can't turn back. I need to focus on my breathing, steady my heart. Breathe in, breathe out. Look at the house. Look at the house and remember. This is an old village with roots that can be traced back centuries. Most of the houses here are wooden, long-lasting, remnants on an older time, constructed almost a century ago. In comparison, Wells' home is strikingly modern, large structure with glass windows in the garage. To my younger self, it seemed almost like a palace, home for a princess. I used to come down this path on my bike every few days when I was young. Often with a moo, we'd watch this home being constructed bit by bit, staring from a distance with wide eyes as it all came together. To me, it seemed like magic. But now, it doesn't look as grand as I once remembered. It seems smaller, somehow shrunken. Probably because I've been exposed to so many towering skyscrapers in the city. Don't think that's the only thing though. Somehow the house looks a little bit like a shell, fossilized remain. Maybe I've just been sentimental, but atmosphere here feels a little off. It's cold. No warmth here. And in the garden, there's a sign. A sign that reads quite plainly in large characters, "For sale." This unexpected news makes my eyes open wide. House is for sale? Had no idea. Moon never mentioned this in any of her letters. Does this mean Noelle is moving? Did something happen? Maybe Noelle's sick. She is ill and her parents don't want to stay in a small village like this any longer, so far away from the hospital. Or it's her parents. Maybe something unfortunate happened to them, an accident, and they're in critical care, worse, dead. Well, we'll have to stay with distant relatives while her old beautiful home goes to ruin. No, that's ridiculous. Way too over the top. Then maybe parents got remarried, they're getting divorced and they're selling the house. In that case, Noelle will end up living with a new step-parent. Maybe they're cruel, and some wicked stepsisters, or... I keep going down this line of thought, it will end up like a fairy tale. Something simpler then. Something more likely to have actually happened in reality. Not aside my overly anxious and overdramatic, or melodramatic, mind that has been warped from watching too many TV dramas. Parents probably got a new job. That seems the most likely option. Grandparents did say more and more people will leave in this village. It's a small place after all, even if it is very pretty. There just aren't that many jobs here. Driving 40 minutes to work every day isn't practical. Yes, even though I thought it's foolish, can't help but worry. I was always so quiet, so shy, so reclusive. Even though there are only 33 students in our whole school, she hardly ever spoke a word to anyone other than me. Well, her parents are moving to a larger town. How will she cope? What will she do? But it's not my place to worry. I scoff at myself, shaking my head. I don't deserve to act so righteous, tending to be oh so concerned for Noelle's happiness. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have told her. Or I would have told her. If I really valued our friendship, I wouldn't have let it fall apart so easily. The legs remaining frozen to the spot. Had to exercise a great deal of willpower to get them to move. Feeling as though I could fall apart over at any moment, I made my way up to the front door. I knock on the door, and wait. I wait, and wait, and wait. Seconds go by slowly, agonizingly, like trying to squeeze the very last remnants of toothpaste out of a tube. When the act of waiting gives my brain enough free time to start panicking, I knock on the door again, just to give myself something to do. But there's still no response. There's nobody home. Noelle isn't there, neither are her parents. Well, that would explain why their car isn't in the drive. No car. No people. Can't hear a single sound. Not even from a stray bird or lonesome cicada. There's nothing. It really does feel desolate here. I guess there isn't much I can do then. Say this aloud, tending to organize my thoughts. Might be easier to do certain words, rather than stifling confines of my own skull. Not sure whether I'm related or not that Noelle isn't home. This means I don't have to face her. For now. Gives me a little more time to prepare myself and figure out what to say. It's difficult though. I don't know if there's anything you can say after abandoning your best friend for 2 years without a single word of explanation. Well then, I guess since Noelle isn't here, this means I can pay a visit to Moo. Turn away from Noelle's home and we'll way back to my grandparents' house. Now my own bike is being stored somewhere in the back garden, waiting for me to ride on it once more. Taking longer to reach the next town than I thought it would. Slumped over the handlebars of my bike like a slab of freshly cut meat. Oh, sure, we're gonna become a freshly cut slab of meat later. We're gonna run into our yandere at some point. My face is just as red. Pant heavily, trying to get my breath back. Sweat beads on my forehead, dripping down the contours of my face and off the tip of my nose. This gradual degradation must be what happens when you move to the city. Since everything was all so convenient, I stopped walking and cycling everywhere, and instead started to rely on the godsend that is public transportation. Took the train to and from school. When I wanted to go shopping, I went to the bus. I hardly ever had to walk, unless it was to the convenience store. That was only 3 minutes away. My heart burns. Face is on fire. At least one good thing has come out of all this. When I blush, my face gets so red it helps to obscure my freckles. Never liked them. Wondered about wearing makeup to conceal them before, but it might be kind of strange asking my female friends for advice about that. I know they tease me, but, well, if I want to reinvent myself, it's already too late. People at my new school already know about my freckles, so what's the point? Won't be able to fool them. Just the same as I used to be all those years ago. Or am I? If that were really true, then why has cycling suddenly become such a chore? Could I have changed more than I thought? Well, who knows? My legs hurt. After the strenuous cycle here, I don't even want to look at my bike, let alone ride it. Fortunately, I can't just abandon it somewhere along the street. That would be irresponsible, and someone might trip over it. Bound by my own code of ethics, I end up towing that wretched thing along behind me, holding it by the handlebars. Maybe it wasn't my fault I got so tired. After all, this is an old bike. Perhaps one of the tires is flat or something. The brakes aren't very good either. Not my fault. Really, truly isn't. Or at least, I don't want it to be. Jeez. Trying to distract myself from the concerns over my physical fitness, or lack of it, take a look around at my surroundings. Come to think of it, I really should be paying more attention. Going unwillingly along this unwieldy vehicle. Don't want to run over any small children. Streets are pretty crowded. Since it's a warm day, the whole street is flooded with life. Young men and women strolling along hand in hand, parents pushing baby strollers, old men and women shielding from the sun under the bus shelter, laughing over private jokes. There are young children clinging to their parents, wanting for ice cream. A group of teenage boys with their hands thrust deep into their pockets, sporting backwards baseball caps. The gay girls with fake tans and long fingernails laying down with shopping bags. Everywhere I look, I can see something happening. Almost everybody seems to be smiling. Is that because of the warm weather? This town really does have everything. Large businesses, buildings with more than 3 floors, a library, hospital, police station, a church, several shops, an elementary school, middle school, and a high school, all combined into one classroom like the school in my old village. There are even ice cream vendors in the street, a couple of fast food restaurants, and a movie theater. Surely this place is a metropolis. At least that's what I thought when I was little. Other than I am now, I mean. Now I know that isn't really true. It's only a small town, with a population of about 30,000. That's pretty large for a small town. I mean, the one that I live in only has like about 1,500, so man, mine must be fucking puny compared to this one. It's not nearly as cosmopolitan as I thought. When you get older, your perspective really does change. The 5-story company buildings that were once so impressive are less grandiose now. Single library is sadly understocked, ice cream vendors nothing special. Bigger cities, you can also buy crepes, yakisoba, and takoyaki in the street. Now, where was that cafe again? If I remember correctly, it was just down the street, and then to the left. Not too far away. This is only a small town, so of course it isn't too far away. Nothing is. I feel a little bit worried about my disheveled hair and sweaty brow though. I go to see a mood looking like this, it won't make a very good first impression. But she'll make fun of me. Should I try to find a public restroom somewhere so I can freshen up? I'm not so sure. Sounds like too much hard work. If it's a mood, she'll make fun of me no matter what I look like. That's just her thing. Amu laughs at me, she laughs at me. Don't think I'll mind. It's how she communicates with people. I think, right now, all I want to do is see a friendly face. Coming back here after so long feels strange. Well, after so long feels stranger, more unsettling than I thought it would. So, I finally made it back here. Back to this familiar cafe. It's a warm, comfy place made mostly of wood. A small establishment, not very large, but a certain kind of humble charm. A waitress who comes to greet me. Hello sir, welcome to Mood Cafe. Will you be dining alone today? Is there anywhere in particular you would like to... Oh my god. It's a mood. Pink hair is as messy as ever, tendrils falling out of her ponytail. One hand on her hip, looks me up and down, mouth parted slightly. No way. That's not fair. Growing at least she's grown over the last couple of years too. May have entertained some wild fantasies of one day overtaking her, being able to rest my elbows on top of her head, just as she always did to me, but of course, it didn't work out like that. Best laid plans never do. Don't grow at all these last 2 years, but Amu, she shot up just like a stick of bamboo. She's still taller than me. A lot taller than me, actually. How depressing. She looks at me in surprise. Takes a few moments till, finally, she is able to greet me. When she does, words that come out of her mouth. Cockroach Kid! Oh god, what a name! It's you! Not exactly flattering. I mean, you weren't prepared for her to laugh at you, but... I wonder how you got the name of Cockroach Kid, though. Here's Amu. That's mean. I'm sorry. I just can't help it. You were always boasting in your letters about how you were getting even taller. You're going to catch me up soon, blah blah blah, but when I actually meet you, you still look like a 12-year-old. Still the same old Cockroach Kid I remember. Don't call me that. I'm trying to put that painful chapter of my life behind me. To you, it might be a tragic tale, but to everyone else, it's a comedy. Hey, don't go deriving so much pleasure from my past failures like that. It's mean. I'm a mean person, Ak-chan. I thought you knew this already. This laugh is just how I remember. A devilish little giggle that sounds incredibly mocking. A laugh coupled with a smug expression makes me feel as though nothing's changed between us. If she wanted to, she could still rest her elbows on top of my head and use me as a coaster. I sigh. Still, I'm pretty grateful. If we haven't swung by, I'd still be stuck working in that crappy cafe until 4. I owe you one, buddy. Laughing, Moo claps me on the shoulder. She uses too much force and it hurts more than she probably intended. Ow, that sounded painful too. I wince, rubbing my shoulder. Hope that doesn't leave a bruise. Even though you're working as a waitress now, you're just as violent as ever. Me? Violent? No way. You could have dislocated my shoulder. Sorry. I guess I was just so happy to see you again. Got a little overexcited. Moo giggles, waving one hand as though it's no big deal. Because Moo never takes anything seriously. Being with her is always pretty relaxing. Which is kind of remarkable, given how much she beats me around under the flimsy guise of friendship. Perhaps Moo's easygoing nature comes from living in the countryside, free from strict rules and regulations, using train timetables and angry people in business suits holding briefcases. Seriously though, you look dreadful. Are you okay? Look down at myself subconsciously, examining my sweat-stained shirt, red calves, and my trembling hands. Maybe I should have tried to clean myself up just a little. No, I'm fine. Feel great. That's a lie. Shut down so quickly. Look like you're on the verge of death. What happened? You sat on the floor and mumbled something unintelligible. I think Moo won't hear. Of course, this pathetic attempt at resistance proves to be completely futile. Speaking like a proud detective who just cracked a particularly difficult case, she leans forward, hands linked together on her lap. You tried to cycle here all by yourself, didn't you? No. Don't be stupid. I helped you chain your bike up outside the cafe. Remember? Of course I remember. It only happened half an hour ago. Moo's always been better at practical stuff like that than I have too. The several failed attempts of me fumbling around with the lock, Moo eventually sighed, hands on her hips, and shooed me out of the way so she could do it herself. I was just, taking my bike out for a walk. I thought it needed some fresh air. I was so sure. See, this is how I think it happened. Don't you want to hear? Please impart upon me your knowledge, O great detective. Well, obviously you decided to cycle all the way here. Think it would be no big deal, acting like you know it all as usual. Hey, and then obviously you forgot just how out of shape you become, using that public transportation that they have in the big city. Don't make me coity mark with your fingers when you say public transportation. No a conspiracy theory, you know. And neither is the city, for that matter. And then you got all tired and out of breath, and gross and sweaty, and you realize you're not as healthy as you used to be. Moo surmises with a flourish of one hand, grunt on her face. Is that about right? I pout. How was this girl able to see through me so easily? Left out the part where I found a giant peach floating down the river with a small child inside. Did this child go on to fight off a band of demons with the help of a talking dog, a monkey, and a pheasant? I think something like that might have happened, yeah. I was sure it did, Ak-chan. Legend of Momotaro, maybe. Gee, we're just as mean as I remember Moo. Moo rolls my hair, muting it up between her fingers. And you're less sweatier than I remember you, Ak-chan. Hey, that's not fair. Neither is life. I'm sorry, but you had to get used to it. Yeah. Put my teeth together and glare at Moo, and it's half-hearted. Not really mad. It's just how Moo and I interact. After all these years, I've gotten used to our comedy routine. I find myself automatically acting as a straight man, even when I'm not so bothered by his silly antics. It could slip back into our old routine so comfortably after so long. Feels strangely relaxing. Hey, Ak-chan. What is it? Me smiling and winsome expression in her face. I know that face well, with more familiarity than I know my own. Reflections in the mirror. What do you want to do? Huh? How do you know I wanted something? Because I know you. It's really that easy to read? It really is. It's because I'm a fair maiden. Raise my eyebrow. There are many ways I could describe a mood, but this combination of fair and maiden is not one of them. What do you mean? I mean, because I'm so sweet and gentle, wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm not a dishonest person, you know. Well, I guess that much is true. But anyway, what are you after? I know you want something. Well, I've been working hard at my parents' cafe, you know. I know. So I could really use an energy boost right now, if you know what I mean. Like what? Moo giggles deviously, pressing her index finger against her lower lip. Like a good luck kiss. Huh? I mean, I was gonna make a joke about sex and whatnot, but I wasn't exactly thinking it was actually gonna be like a kiss or something. Instead of Moo in alarm, I was so wide I worried they might roll on my skull and land on my lap with a plop. What does she mean, a kiss? I couldn't. Even though we're friends, I think that's going a little too far. Oh, Ak-chan, your face is all red. Of course it is. What else does she expect? Well, if a kiss is too much, I would settle for a snack. Food? Okay, that might be slightly more manageable. Just need to get my breathing under control first. Right. Yay! Ice cream! Moo claps her hands together delightfully, just like a little kid. Even though Moo doesn't like sweets too much, he does like ice cream. I feel proud of myself for remembering this. Good job, me. Made the right choice. Thank you, Ak-chan. Thank you. Going to pay for me, right? Actually, on a second thought, what are you talking about? You're the one with the job, aren't you? That's irrelevant. But you have more money than I do. My money doesn't matter. No guy would invite a girl out to ice cream and make her pay for her own share. That's so cheap. Hey, I'm not taking you out on a date or anything. We're just friends. Exactly. We're just such good friends that you'll pay for my ice cream. Well, go on, Ak-chan. Please. Please, 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 pretty please. I'll be your best friend. I thought we were already friends. We are, but, you know, better friends. And what does that entail exactly? Well... means I won't make fun of your height for the rest of the trip here. This definition of friendship really is something. Oh, and now I got to choose to buy your ice cream or not. Okay, fine, I'll buy an ice cream, at least with this route. I love how the transition was a little hot. So, as might be expected, I caved in. Yay! It's really delicious. Thank you, Yak-chan. It's no problem. Do you remember my favorite flavor? Didn't even need to say. Of course I remember. How could I forget? The reason I remember Amelia's favorite flavor of ice cream isn't because we have such an incredibly deep bond of friendship, never be severed, no matter what. Nothing as sentimental as that. The real reason I remember it is because I always thought her favorite flavor of ice cream was really weird. I mean, green tea? Really? That's the kind of ice cream you expect an elegant lady to favor, not so good. Non-amu. Hey, be careful. You get it everywhere. But that's the fun part of the fun. Don't talk out your mouth, fool. I mean, I guess she kind of likes green tea because she's got green eyes, I guess. That's disgusting. It's just a sign of enjoying it more, Grandma. Not like you, who ate the whole cone in like 5 minutes. Because I was being sensible. They wanted to melt on me. That's so boring. Who wants to be sensible? Don't answer back. Look, you're getting ice cream all over. Right, come here. Moving a little closer until our legs are brushing. Then I take a few paper tissues from my pocket. No harm in being prepared, and start to dab her face. Moo wriggles in discontent, pulls her face, but I'm relentless. Scrubbing her face until it's sparkling clean, no longer smeared with a cold, gooey mess. It's always been this way between us. Moo is the active one who gets into scrapes, while I hang behind to clean her up, taking care of her cuts and bruises. I think it's better for my close friendship with Moo that I got into the habit of carrying tissues with me to begin with. Killjoy. Moo powers, taking a lick of her ice cream. I just want you to look presentable. You're not my mom. I'm not going to attend a marriage meeting. You don't need to be so fussy. It's in my nature to fuss. You don't want me to get concerned, you shouldn't act childish. Who sticks out a tongue? There's a glob of green ice cream sitting on it, dissolving slowly. Ew. That's gross. Moo turns her head away and continues eating, taking a few more minutes to finish off her ice cream. This time, however, she's slightly more careful, and is able to finish the job off without getting dirty again. I just feel like I should applaud her for that. Probably made quite the effort there. Still... Moo leans back against the bench, staring up at the blue sky. Life in this small town continues around us as always, and yet, right now, for some reason, this moment feels strangely special. Intimate, maybe. Look at how much you used to worry about me. Getting so much attention feels kinda nice. You just like being taken care of. Maybe a little. Reminded me of when we were kids. Moo turns to look at me, a small smile on her face. Haven't me in so long. Not since she came. Isn't that right? Pause, suddenly hesitant. Knowing what she's talking about, of course I do, but I had assumed. Stupidly, I had assumed Moo wouldn't talk about her. After all, she never mentioned her in her letters. Hoping with a Moo would be safe. Wouldn't have to think. Wouldn't have to remember. Might have to feel guilty. Tell Moo to stop talking about it, or ask Moo how Noelle is. Okay, well, I think we should ask how Noelle is doing. Maybe we can figure out where she is. Here, Moo. What is it? Oh shit, linking my hands together in my lap. Takes me a while to form any words. I've been worrying about it all day, but difficult to actually say it. Huh? What are you talking about, Ak-chan? Stupid, isn't it? Can't know that until you tell me. Knowing you though, it probably is. Let Moo's comment slide. She is just trying to lighten the mood. It's just... I want to talk about it all day, but now that I can, suddenly I don't want to. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Well, I guess not. Want to talk about something, you should talk about it. Otherwise I won't be able to understand you. That's what I thought. A sigh. Yeah, it's just common sense. Acting kinda slow today, Ak-chan. What am I going to do with you, seriously? Moo giggles. Even though the atmosphere is heavy, I'm kinda glad for it. Guess it's hard being too melancholy with a Moo around. Even though you act rude, you really are a nice person, aren't you? Well, I don't know about that. Moo flushes, turning her head away. Is she embarrassed? That's kind of unexpected. Knowing a Moo, she'd just brush a sappy comment like that away with a laugh. Slap something back, or maybe a joke about how I'm getting sentimental at my old age. Moo pouts. You're thinking I'm just a stranger or something, aren't you? No, well, Moo's gaze remains pointed. I relent. Can't keep anything from her. How do you know? Because I've known you for a long time, stupid. I can see it written all over your face. Instinctively, I try to hide my face with my hands. At least the Moo seems to find my reaction funny, because she starts to giggle. But anyway, Ak-chan, what do you want? If you have a question to ask, you should ask it now, or you might regret it later. Yeah, that's a good point. I was just wondering, went to her house earlier today. Noelle's. Huh? Small pause. Takes a few moments to regain her composure. What do you mean, house? Don't you think palace would be more fitting? Noelle's home isn't that big, really. Says the city boy. Remember when it was being built, my dad was going nuts over it, saying it would tarnish the historical value of our village or something. It's a nice house. Well, you know better than me. You've been there more than I have. Son, it's not that hard to approve on my record, though, given I've never been invited over once. Is it just me, or is there a note of bitterness to Moo's tone? So, did you see the little princess? No, I didn't see her. She wasn't at home. Oh, that's a shame. Think she would have liked to see you. Are you sure? After what I did? Of course. She was your best friend, you know. Anyone with half a functioning brain could tell she really liked you. But it's been 2 years, and I haven't spoken to her at all since then. So, don't worry about it, silly. You didn't do anything really horrible, and I do understand. It was difficult for you. But probably more difficult for her. Moo shrugs. Maybe. I don't know. I can never tell what she's thinking. It's not like she ever talks to me anyway. She's just shy. I know. But you're kinda shy too. I don't mind being with you. You're fun to tease. Is that why you like me so much? Who knows? Maybe. But with Noelle, she's far too delicate to poke fun at. Like, it really upset her. And if I can't joke around with people, I don't know how to talk to them. So, after I left, did Noelle not talk to anyone? Moo ponders, directing her gaze towards the sky. No, I don't think so. Not after you left. She was all on her own, I guess, but she always seemed so hard to approach, So distant. I didn't know where to begin. I wonder if I should feel annoyed at me for not making an effort to be Noelle's friend, but not like I can't understand what she means. Noelle can be a difficult person. Besides, not like Amu has any kind of duty to be Noelle's friend. If you became Noelle's friend purely out of pity or a sense of obligation, that would probably end up as quite a depressing relationship. I don't think it would make either of them happy. Maybe it was inevitable, then, that after I left, Mel would end up all alone. Never showed any interest in talking to anybody other than me. Huh. And that explains it then. That explains what? Well, I was just wondering. Thing I was thinking about earlier that I wanted to ask you. I said Noelle's house is up for sale. Huh? It is? Yeah. I was hoping you might know the reason why, since your parents, always sticking their noses into other people's business. Yeah. But no, I haven't heard a thing. Maybe it happened recently? If it was old news, I'm sure my parents would have mentioned it already. My dad can't keep his mouth shut about the latest village gossip. Guess this is a mystery that's going to go unsolved then. Kinda like a big mystery. A lot of people have been leaving the village lately. Kinda seems like a waste though. A waste? Yeah. The house, the Carters must have been expensive. Can't imagine they're going to make much of a profit out of it. Nobody's moving into the village either. Nah. Houses left by the old families are still empty. Cause there's no jobs here, nobody's coming. Most of the people left in the village are all people who've retired, not families with children. Gets really boring sometimes, And maybe that's why. Maybe these Carters are moving because Noelle hasn't made any new friends at school. Maybe she's lonely. I guess it could be it, but I don't know. I think it's more likely her parents just got sick of commuting so far to work. So do you think this is a big deal? I doubt it. I think you're just worrying about nothing, as usual, like Khan. Yeah, that's probably true. Chun? What is it? Why are you so worried anyway? Huh? What do you mean? I mean, Noelle isn't a child, I'm sure she can take care of herself. I know that, but he cuts me off before I can finish. Maybe that's a good thing. Wasn't sure what I was going to say anyway. You keep fussing over her, isn't that kind of rude? Like, you're saying that you don't think she can take care of herself? Aren't friends supposed to trust one another? I hadn't thought of it that way before, but maybe Amu has a point. People don't like being looked down on. No, I don't. And it's something that happens frequently, both literally and figuratively. People are always assuming I'm younger than I am. Been stopped more than a few times by police officers when I'm going out to the convenience store in the evening. Always ask the same questions. How old? Oh, how am I? What am I doing? Where my parents are? I know they mean well, but that kind of thing can start to get irritating after a while. Not to mention dispiriting. Am I fussing over Noelle because I want to feel superior to her? A mature and responsible one? Is that really it? I don't know. Can't help but worry about her. I can't help but worry though. Why? looked down at my lap, frowning. Well, I don't really know. Maybe it's illogical. But just, she's a close friend. That's all. That's all. Yeah. Friends worry about one another naturally, don't they? It's only obvious I'd want her to be happy. There's a small pause. Look back at Amu, picking up at her from underneath my bangs. Been strangely silent for a while now. Did I say something to upset her? To my surprise, she's giggling. Silly Ak-chan, worry so much about other people. What do you mean, silly? I'm not silly. Yes, you are. You're so tiny. Maybe you should start to worry more about yourself. What do you mean? I don't... Prod. Squish. Hey, Amu. You're so tiny. You could be abducted easily. Don't let your guard down. It'll be game over. Oh? Are you saying that to... your friend, or are you saying it to us? As the player? Maybe a bit of foreshadowing there? That's only because you're bullying me. Let go. Giggling Amu releases me from my grip. Jeez, I went, rubbing my cheek with my hand. Honestly, Mu can be such a brute sometimes. Really doesn't know her own strength. But anyway, Ak-chan. You're being silly, What do you mean? I think if you really want to talk to Noelle, we should just go do it. Really? Of course. You want to know whether she still likes you or not. If you want to know how she's feeling, then all you need to do is ask. No, not so hard, right? Unless she turns out to be a yandere and ends up wanting to kill me. Unless that yandere is maybe you. Really think it's that easy? I know it is, silly. Stop overthinking things and make a big deal about nothing. You'll give yourself an ulcer. You're starting to sound like my mother. Oh, somebody has to take care of you when you get all worked up. Thanks. No problem. I like being with you. It's fun. And speaking of fun, let's go and have some right now. Tired of sitting around here. Okay, but what would you recommend? I know. Getting to her feet, she turns and offers me her hand. Okay, since you haven't been here for a while, stranger, how about a tour around this town? You mean you want to go shopping? Why, it's almost like you can read my mind. Let me guess, I'm also paying for everything, right? Ooh, can't believe they have the next volume of this out already. Hey, be careful with that. I am really concerned. In the same way a mother might fuss over a particularly spirited child. He stands in a corner of the bookstore, flipping through the pristine pages of a brand new manga with such speed I'm worried she would crease them. I did wonder why she wanted to drag me to the bookstore of all places, because she isn't one of her reading a lot. But now I know why. Didn't know the store sold manga too. Wonder if this diversification is a recent thing. Miki was sticking out her tongue. Fret not, O ye little faith. I'm no accomplished klutz like you. She flicked my tongue against the roof of my mouth. I want to retort, but I know it'd be for nothing. Mi's right. When it comes to discussions on my shortcomings, for which there are many, Mu is always right. I would break with Sakai, maybe I would be able to defend myself, but Moo's known me for too long. There's too much material to work with. He even knows about that one time in class with the cockroach. Just thinking about it makes me shudder. Thought I exercised that thought from my mind completely. But why is it coming back? You think of something else. Anything else. Anything to stop the embarrassment. What are you looking at anyway? This? Why, Yak-chan, thought you'd been able to guess. The strange new invention we call a book. I know that. Whenever anybody asks that question, they know that. Now, why do people ask it? Because I want to know what book it is. Is it really such a crime? Well, it's nothing special. Just some manga. No big deal. My cover looks awfully pink. You sound so shocked. I'm not shocked, not really. I just didn't think you'd be interested in something with such a cute cover. Miyuki was coyly, pressing her index finger against her lower lip. There's a lot about me you don't know, Yak-chan. We women are mysterious creatures. And yet you seem to know everything about me. Well, of course. It's also part of our mystery. If you say so. I sigh, stretching the joints at my elbows clicking. Moo flips through the various volumes of manga. I have half a mind to tell her this is a bookstore, not a library. I'm sure she'd laugh at me. I ponder. Did Sakai ask me for a souvenir yesterday? I don't really know what kind of souvenir she was expecting though. Not like I've gone to visit some famous tourist destination. It's only a tiny little town near a tiny little village. Suppose I could get her something to eat. Everybody loves chocolate, don't they? Even Sakai, with her admiration for any and all things gothic, only ever drinks tomato juice with her school lunch, likes chocolate. Chocolate isn't a very special gift though. You can buy chocolate everywhere, which to me at least only attests to how incredible it is. Not everyone sees it that way. Doesn't have much heart. What was the guy like though? Knowing her and her ghoulish taste, she'd probably appreciate something suitably morbid, like a badger skull or a taxidermy bat. Don't know if there are any specialist stores around here where I'm able to pick up such questionable items. Feel a little like I'm cheating, but genuinely curious for an answer. Tend to look at Moo, who's still preoccupied with her manga. There's something strangely relaxing about watching Moo read. Though she claims all girls have made mysteries earlier, very open about emotions most of the time. Must have reached a particularly dramatic twist in her story, because her eyes are startlingly wide. Her eyebrows raised so high they disappeared into her hairline. I smile, shaking my head. I can't help but be amused. Hey, Amu. Huh? Moo jumps at the sound of her name, voice a little more pitchy than usual. I laugh. I think it must be pretty engrossing, huh? Oh, yeah. It's not that bad, I suppose. I'm sorry. Did I startle you? No, not really. Chuga Sakai doesn't get startled by anything. I remain completely cool even in the event of the apocalypse. Ho. Anyway, what are you calling me for? Do you have a question? Yeah, actually, I was wondering. I frown, rubbing one hand against the back of my head. This might sound kinda weird, but do you know what kind of gift a girl would like? A girl? Well. Devious smile begins to form around Amu's face. Like Chinese sly old doggy. What were you planning to tell me this piece of breaking news, huh? Ow. And when it says elbows me in the stomach hard. Was she trying to hurt me, or is that just my imagination? What are you talking about? Talking about you getting a girlfriend, of course. Girlfriend? Yes, and in only 2 years, too. Never would have believed it of you. I stare at Moo, my mouth fully open to a small O. Of course I should have known she'd react like this. Why does she have to be so loud about it? Feels like everybody in the bookstore is staring at me. Sakai isn't my girlfriend. She's just a friend. Oh, her name is Sakai, is it? How cute. I didn't know cute would be the best way to describe her. Oh? So, how would you describe her? I don't know. Maybe scary? So you like sadistic girls, huh? Of course you do. I should have known. You always enjoyed those punishment games we used to play when you were younger, didn't you? I didn't enjoy them. Didn't enjoy them at all. And anyway, Sakai isn't my girlfriend. Okay, Ak-chan, whatever you say. I'm telling the truth. Moose Max. Don't know if she really believes Sakai is my girlfriend or not, but it's clear she's going to continue to frame it that way, just to unsettle me. Is this revenge for making her jump earlier? If so, it seems a little harsh. Anyway, why are you so hung up on buying this girlfriend a present? I just one, that's all. I think she's been feeling a little down lately, so I thought I might cheer her up. Oh, how noble. So, do you have any ideas about what a girl might like? Well, it's a lot trickier than that. Girls are different, you know. We like different things. I don't even know who the Sakai person is. Probably the least qualified to tell you what she'd like. Yeah, thought it might have been a bit of a broad question. I sigh, rubbing my side. It still aches after being unceremoniously gouged by a moo's elbow like that. I just thought, is there any gift in particular you'd like to receive? Anything you really want? Well now, it would become a case of what I would like, rather than what Sakai would like. This isn't what you want to know, is it? You're right. I'm sorry for asking something so pointless. Hey now, it's not pointless. So it can't be a fairly used Loverboy. Loverboy? Damn that moo. He feels so hot you could fry an egg on it. Present for Sakai though. What would she want? Don't know if I'd be able to find it in this bookstore. Sakai does like to read, but she prefers the Victorian Gothic to cute manga. Don't know which book she'd read, which one she hasn't. Present for Sakai. Present for Sakai. A present for Sakai. Ah, some flash of inspiration crosses my mind, illuminating my thoughts more clearly than a clap of thunder. It was that store, wasn't there? We used to go there with Noelle all the time, back when we were younger. Our man who worked there was really nice. Till he got replaced by that eerie woman with long fingernails and the perpetual look of arch disdain. Just thinking about it is making my skin crawl. Besides, the store is a little off the beaten track. It's not one of those stores situated on the main street, tucked away amongst the rabbit warren of residential homes. Difficult to find unless one knows where it is. Could I really go there? Would it be worth it? Hey, what's this? Do you have an idea, Ak-chan? Well, I frowned, looking down at my shoes. Could I really drag Moo along on an excursion like that? Just to find a gift for another girl back at home? Didn't I come here so I would spend time with my old friends rather than fussing over the new? I don't want to upset Moo. What one do we choose? Yeah, I do have an idea. Why not? Might as well get it out of the way and done. Whoa. Don't think I've ever been to this place before. I'm not surprised. Don't know if many people have. After all, this place is hard to find, tucked away amongst a bunch of residential houses. It took Moo and I 20 minutes to get here. I'm surprised I didn't get lost on the way. What I remember during my trips here in the well, items in the store weren't so much antiques or bits of old junk. I'm not surprised to see this hasn't changed in the last 2 years. The interior of the store is piled high with junk, and I can't imagine much of it has any practical use. With just one curious glance around, I can see several cracked mirrors, an old grandfather clock, display cases filled with dolls, a wooden table missing a leg, a bed cage with a broken lock, ancient iron tea kettle, and a mask that seems to be aping the no theatre tradition, but it's been very crudely carved and painted. Maybe it would look good for Halloween. I can't imagine anybody would want it hanging in the living room wall for decoration purposes. I'd have to have pretty warped sensibilities of that if that was the case. Though I don't have much interest in things like this, Noelle has always been very keen. Not sure why, but she has some inbuilt magpie-like obsession over collecting junk. I don't think Sakai and Noelle are very similar, not by any stretch of the imagination, but Sakai also has a fondness for curious old objects. I think she likes the mystery and the romance of it, though personally, I don't find broken plates and old jewelry romantic. Maybe I have no sense of imagination. I worry about almost everything all the time, so I must have some capacity for it. I guess being overly anxious and imaginative are two distinctly different things. The air is thick with dust, so heavy I have to stuff all my coats with one hand. Nice to know this place hasn't changed at all. It's just as disorderly as I remember. I cast my mind back to the sign displayed outside the door, written in red pen in angry strokes. A sign that reads, for all to see. To my beloved customer, please would you kindly close the door when you enter the shop. Well, that is what a door is for. Thank you. Thought the shopkeeper might have removed that sign during the last 2 years. I was away in the city, but I guess not. Past the aggressive nature of that warning must be doing wonders for this little store's business, though, because it's completely empty. Not a soul in sight, save for the shopkeeper. Sitting on the counter, leaning over something, a pencil clutched in one hand. Her dark blue hair falls in front of her pale face, obscuring her features. Don't know whether she's even realized there are other people in the store, but she evidently doesn't care. Not even the sound of the bell ringing as I move and I enter was enough to get her attention. Wonder what her name was. I'm sure I've seen her somewhere else before, and I'm not just behind the counter of the store. Didn't she used to go to my school? Turned to move for confirmation, surveying the young woman behind the counter with an uneasy look. Do you know who she is? I whispered under my breath. Moo nods her head. It's Eri's big sister, Suzumi. Eri? I blink, casting my mind back. Eri. Ah, I remember Eri. She went to my school, lived in the same village. Blonde girl with the corkscrew pigtails, who always used to wear the most beautiful clothes. I think I let her borrow my umbrella once, during a particularly bad downpour, when she had left us at home. Expression on Moo's face really is curious. Looks as though she swallowed a lemon whole. What's wrong? Were you friends with Eri? I was at some point. Now, however, she winces. It's a little complicated. Not sure whether Big Sister will appreciate me hanging around here. You mean you had an argument? You could call it that. Personally, I think she was just being stubborn, but besides, let her shoulders sag. If you really want to buy something from here, I won't stop you, but is it alright if I wait outside? I don't want the Big Sister to spot me. Is she really that bad? What I remember Suzumi, she was only ever rude and sardonic towards me, but maybe she was just having a bad day. A couple of bad days. We all have moments in our life like that. Won't be fair to condone somebody based on a mere handful of interactions. Judging by Amu's expression, however, you'd think I dragged her up before a guillotine, rather than into an antique store. Don't think I've seen Amu, brave and fearless Amu, capable of facing down the apocalypse without so much as a sniffle. Look so pale before. Maybe Suzume really is that bad? Now I feel guilty for bringing Amu here. Guilty and ever so slightly frightened for my safety. Still, I came here to buy Sakai a gift. And it would be silly to leave with it after coming all this way. Square my shoulders and drawing a deep breath, trying to compose myself. I can do it, with or without Amu's support. I can. Okay, can wait outside. I'll try to be quick. Thank you, Yak-chan. A small smile, Amu gives me a wave, and then ducks back out of the shop. Open door letting out a brief sliver of sunlight creep down the very ugly patterned carpet before it is finally extinguished with a slam. Somehow the disappearance of that light seemed strangely symbolic, though my hopes of escaping here alive has similarly been extinguished. What a racket. The sound of the door slamming finally rouses Suzume from a stupor. There's a head, glaring eyes framed with dark lashes. A whimper. Look at her face. And no doubt it could bore through solid steel. Are you trying to give me a headache? Put a sign outside the door for a reason, you know. So people would remember to close it? Yes, but that's only part of it. Thought a notice like that would be enough to scare away brats like yourself, but I suppose not. What can I do so people get the message? Short of nailing the corpse of a dead dog to the door. Feel the colour draining out of my face. The plug has been pulled somewhere on the soles of my feet. Must look ashamed. I feel ashamed, too, if it is even possible to feel such a thing. Oh, now, wait a moment, one moment. Suzume's eyes soften slightly. One finger, her nose with the gulp fingernails are remarkably long and pointed, tapping against her lower lip. I think I recognize you. You do? Yes, that's right. You're not just any old impudent brat after all. She nods, as though reassuring herself of this fact. Two little buttons pinned neatly at either side of her head, just slightly as she moves. A manner that could almost be considered charming. Almost. Her fingernails weren't so very, very sharp, her gaze so disconcerting, her smirk so distinctly unpleasant. You used to live here, didn't you? In the village, I mean. Went to my school, though you mustn't have been even littler back then than you are now. Yes, that's right. Yak-chan, isn't it? Look down at the floor, hardly daring to meet this woman's eyes. A mark of just how ingrained on my subconscious that nickname is. I respond to it almost as though it's my real name. At this point, given everybody refers to me as such, even my teachers, it might as well be. Everybody starts referring to me this diminutive, and nobody uses my birth name. Will that rewrite my whole identity? Would the me I used to be before Amu abruptly assigned this nickname to me disappear completely? But then again, I was only 3 or 4 when I got this nickname. It wasn't really all that much of me that existed before then anyway. Guess it doesn't matter that much at all, after all. Your sister has told me about you. Said your family got bored of the country and decided to move out to the big city. Although she simply stating a fact, it feels as though she is judging me. Under her eyes, I could see the unspoken words, loud and clear. traitor. Yeah, Dad got a new job, so parents decided to move. For some reason I feel like I had to defend myself, even though she hasn't actually made any kind of accusation out loud. But I didn't want to move. I was really against the whole idea. I tried to talk my parents out of it, but they didn't listen. How sad. Happily too. Anyway, you want to buy something? Do it quickly. I'm in the middle of something, and your presence is distracting me. In the middle of something? Look at Suzumi curiously. Sees several sheets of paper spread out across the top of the counter. Looks like she is drawing something, but I can't tell what. Now, did I tell you that you could try to sneak a peek at my private affairs? Private? That's right. What I'm working on is top secret. Uncouth boys such as yourself could never comprehend it. I'm sorry? I wasn't trying to look. I was just curious. It was curiosity that killed the cat, as they say. But this one wouldn't weigh a single heartbeat before killing me. Those sharp claws, I wouldn't stand a chance. Now, would you kindly get out of my sight? Run along, little boy. Shoo-shoo. Mimi makes a dismissive motion with her hands. More than happy to oblige. Face burning bright, turn around on my heels, venturing into the deeper, darker depths of the store. Just hope Sakai appreciates her presence, whatever it ends up being. Feels as though this game may very well end up costing me more than mere money. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to keep our wits and sanity about us. Is that what you want? Yes, please. Maybe picks up my planned purchase in one pale hand. I note from the start his skin might be just as white as Sakai's. Is that because she stays in a dimly lit shop, bat-like for hours on end? Or maybe it's something more sinister than that. Wasn't there that one countess who stayed young forever by bathing in the blood of young, virgin girls? I shudder. I don't doubt you may be a virgin, at least you're not a girl, so. Time Suzumi is turning over, examining with a critical gaze, is something that certainly supports my sinister theory. It's a pack of tarot cards. Surprised I was able to find such a Sakai-like gift in here. Nestled away on the shelf among the old board of Go and set of nestling dolls. Stumbling across this really was a stroke of luck. Cards are fairly large, about the size of my palm, printed on thick paper that doesn't yield easily when bent. The prints on them are fairly abstract, with lots of flowers, skulls, and gnarled trees, but I think Sakai would prefer that. Just a pity that there isn't any vampire cards, but the odd goblin-like creatures grinning unpleasantly up at me from the devil card seems gothic enough. Cards are a little ragged on the edges, slightly worse for wear, and it makes me wonder just how old they are. How long have they been festering away in some corner of this store? Maybe for years and years. Somehow the knowledge that I may be the first person to handle these cards for 5, 10, maybe 20 years makes me feel a little excited. This way Noelle enjoy collecting antiques so much. A thrill? After finishing her appraisal, Suzumi gathers the cards together and slots them back in the slightly moth-eaten box, where they belong. These are pretty nice. It's only one major arcana, but I don't think any of them are missing. You know about tarot cards? Just a little. You pick up a lot of random bits of knowledge when you write things. You write books? Once more, the sheet of paper strewn across the counter piqued my interest. Are these pages from Suzumi's novel? Did she get mad at me because I was distracting her from her writing? Is she actually a famous author? Maybe that's how the store is able to stay open, despite the evident lack of customers. But Suzumi snorts, storing this little fantasy in a matter of moments. Notebooks, no. Something far more exciting. Exciting? But don't start prying now. It isn't your place. Look down the floor, my face flushing. I am sorry. Heh. You apologize an awful lot, don't you? Only because your withering gaze and pointed comments make me feel like I should be apologizing. I'm sorry. Sumi snickers. Well, I should have expected as much. Just a shame you couldn't have shown a little bit of that humility towards my little sister. Your little sister? You mean Eri? Is there any other? Could you forget my dear Eri when she is the cutest, sweetest, most sensible creature in the whole world? I didn't forget her. I didn't know I'd ever done something wrong to her. Of course you wouldn't remember. Men never do. So pig-headed and unreliable. I'm sorry. Sumi raises an eyebrow. Apologizing for being born as a man now? I guess so. Though it sounds kind of sad when she puts it like that. The devious little grin Sumi leans across the counter. You know, you ever get tired of being a man? I could help you out. What do you mean? I mean, a way to win that masculinity forced upon you by birth forever. When I'm through with you, nobody can recognize you as one of those disgusting, shameless pigs again. Feel a chill run down my spine, ice cold as though somebody has just slipped a needle down the back of my shirt. Well, I know Suzumi could be talking about giving me a makeover, but somehow I doubt it. I think her motives might be rather more unpleasant than that. I'll think about it in my nightmares. Can I just pay for the cars, please? Oh, these? Let me turn her attention back to the pack of cards, resting innocently on a desk. Well, I don't particularly like selling my stock to irritating little boys who are so stupid that they can't even repent when they've done something wrong. Don't really deserve it, you know. I know, I'm sorry. But, since I am busy with my work, I don't particularly want to be disturbed. I suppose, if it would be the quickest way to make you leave, I could acquiesce. Just this once. So you sell them to me? That's right. For a discounted price too. Promise to take them and get out as soon as possible. I will. I won't come back, I promise. If I want to. Brother nor of my own arm. Good. Then I'm glad we can understand one another. A cold, empty laugh of Suzumi's, making my whole body shudder. I'm starting to feel sick. In the dark clothes with those long fingernails, that laugh fits the role of a wicked witch almost perfectly. I'd be all surprised if the store turned out to be a front for her to carry out her witch-like activities, sacrificing animals at altars and bathing in pig's blood and praying to Satan. Maybe she cast some kind of curse on me. When I go to sleep tonight, my flesh will slowly start to peel away from my bones. Okay, that was quite the graphic descriptor there. And you must have some very horrible nightmares. No, I don't want that. Anything but that. Sakai, I really hope you appreciate this present. Oh, finally time to get out of there. Finally done, huh? Yeah, I'm sorry. Took a little while to find something I wanted. Then I got distracted talking to the shopkeeper. Feeling insulted by more like. Is casting curses on people illegal? Maybe I should report her. But if I did, she'd probably inflict me with some with the Black Plague. Moo grins. And last time I was able to combat some of the unease I felt earlier, making my body feel more relaxed. If Suzumi is some kind of demon, then does that make a Moo an angel? Angel who likes to hit people in the back a lot, and burst them with past memories they would much rather forget? Maybe Moo isn't really an angel after all. Company is still preferable to Suzumi's though. Then again, this might not be saying much, given the company of a rabid woman would still be preferable to Suzumi's. I can only imagine. Suzumi is quite an intense person, isn't she? Yeah. Intense is the word. You'll break on in there all the way on your own, Akchan. I think living in the city has changed you. You think? I think you're a lot braver now. Far more confident. It's cool. Well, I don't know about that. I think back to my earlier exchange with Suzumi, flushing. Wouldn't Moo be quite so keen to call me cool? She hadn't seen how much I was apologizing. Anyway, what did you get your friend? What did you get her? Oh, nothing special, just this. Draw a pack of tarot cards out of my pocket. Moo examines them with interest. Ponytail bobbing as she tilts her head. Aren't they like those cards you use to tell people are going to die soon or not? They're for fortune telling, I think. I don't know. I've never used them. So your friend is into demons and ghosts and creepy things like that? A little. She does like horror movies a lot. Maybe that explains it then. Explains what? How you ended up becoming so brave. You got a friend like that? Maybe her fearlessness rubbed off on you a little too. I don't know about that. If I watch horror movies with Sakai, I had to pull my hand over my eyes during the scary parts. Don't handle graphic depictions of violence very well, especially when it comes to with gallons of bright red blood. So, Akchan, do you want to walk back to the cafe? Dad said he'd pick us up and give us a ride back to the village. He did? That's kind of him. Yeah, and I thought maybe you wouldn't want to walk home all the way by yourself, given it's quite a way, and you already did a load of walking just to get here. And to get to the store too. It's true, feet really are starting to ache. I think I might have stretched my stamina a little too far today. Walking into town was bad enough, but the extra added journey to the antique store might have cinched it for me. Thanks. I'd love a ride back home, if you're sure that's okay. Sure. Of course I'm sure, Akchan. Don't be silly. Don't just say things I don't mean. Ow. Does she really need to hit my shoulder like that? Besides, Dad will probably love it. Love showing off. He must have like 10 or 20 stories of his recent great adventures he's been dying to tell you. Yeah, sounds like your dad and my grandpa will get along famously. Doesn't he tell them to you? His face darkens. He does. Believe me, he does. I think I've heard the tale about the trout 50 times now. I hear about anyone talking about fishing, I might scream. And so I ended up getting a lift home with Moo's dad. Although I know very little about cars, I know enough to realize this car is pretty old. Interior smells funny, the seats look worn and frayed. Doesn't help that Moo's dad seems to be driving too quickly. As the car speeds along down the country roads, I feel myself being jerked about in the back seat, body shaking like a pinball. Sitting in the front of the car beside her father, Moo complains bitterly, her arms folded. This car is such a piece of junk. Why don't you just get a new one, Dad? Because times are hard, sweetheart. Times are hard. Gotta make every penny count. If that's the case, maybe you shouldn't be driving so quickly. Nonsense, nonsense. Driving fast is part of being a man. Makes me feel young again. Besides, I've been with Yukiko for almost 20 years now. She can handle it. She is a reliable kind of woman. Yukiko? Jay calls her car Yukiko. It's his thing. That's right. I can never part with her. She's like the wife I never had. You do have a wife, though. You're married to her. He's dead at last, slapping the steering wheel of the car in good humour. Hands are so large he might split the wheel in two. Too true, too true. Mother is a good woman, dear, but she isn't quite the same as old Yuki here. Man in his car, they have a special bond, you see. I was not that special that would end up on a TLC show. I know there's people out there that have a very, very special bond with certain objects. Anyway, sometimes that bond is even tighter than the bond between a man and his wife. Anyway, my boy. Yes? I'll tell you a story. An exciting tale. A story about men, for men. It'll really get your blood pumping. Ah, jeez. And though I can't see her face, I'm sure Moo's rolling her eyes. Keep trying to tell her Moo here, but she just doesn't get it. She's not a man, I guess. Doesn't think like one. You know she acts like one? Come on, Dad, cut that out. It's annoying. Now, dear, some people are interested in stories like this. So, I'll tell you a tale. Tale about a man and a trout. Here we go. So, Mr. Jugasakai launches into a very long, very tear-told, very boring, and very loud rendition of his heroic fishing feats. Sink lower and lower in my seat the whole while, muttering things like, I see, and how interesting. So he knows I'm listening, but I don't think he'd even care if I wasn't. Clear Mr. Sakai isn't interested in having a conversation. Just wants someone to talk and boast to. Now that I'm in his car, trapped with no means of escape, I have no choice but to listen. So, lad, do you know how large that fish was? Well, do you? I know how big the fish you caught was. Couldn't possibly imagine, sir. There's no need to be polite. There's no need to call me sir. Plain old Kentaro will do. Yes, of course. I still don't call Mr. Jigga Sakai that. It'd seem wrong somehow, given he is such a towering figure. Be like calling a mountain a molehill. So about that fish. It was a trout, you know. A big un. Moo rolls her eyes. Dad, do you have to? Tell me the story about 1,000,000 times already. Now, Moo, don't exaggerate. More like 5 or 6, maybe 7 at a push. I'm not being prideful. I'm not being arrogant. I'm simply sharing a darn exciting story, that's all. You got to admit, it is darn exciting. You wouldn't understand, Moo. Fishing is a man's world, you know. Only men like me and this young lad here can understand it. You know what I mean? I'm wondering how Mum ever puts up with you. And so I spent the entirety of the awkward car journey being shouted at by Mr. Jigga Sakai as he tells me the darn exciting story of his various fishing exploits. Maybe we should just ridden on our bike back. When I get back, it's already starting to get late. Talk to my grandparents for a while, then sit down for another family meal. Grandma really is pulling out all the stops now that I'm back with them. The meal is not exactly extravagant or complicated, but the quantity of food really is ridiculous. Did Mother tell her I was particularly gluttonous before I came back here? Maybe she's playing a practical joke on me, trying to pay me back for the time I accidentally overwatered her beloved gardeners. I hope you like it, dear. Miss Takibana brought over those spring onions, you know. She grew them in her own garden. Ah, Mrs. Takibana. I remember her. Used to be my teacher, the only teacher in the whole school. As my grandmother talks fondly of our neighbors, I start to feel the color rising in my cheeks. Kind of embarrassing, but when I was younger, I kind of, sort of, maybe just a little, had a tiny bit of a crush on her. Amo with a red face, staring down resolutely at the floor. Noticing my discomfort, my grandmother laughs. Oh no, she knows. Oh, don't worry, grandparents can fucking tell when that shit happens. Even though I never told her about my childhood crush, I wouldn't put it past her. Woman knows everything. Oh, come on, dear, eat up. Let's put some more meat on those bones. Thanks, but I sigh. Not really hungry. Might be the case, dear, but this is for your own good. If you eat my delicious, rejuvenating food, you'll never grow old. That's how I've maintained my good looks over the years. And besides, smiles at me craftily. You eat a lot, you'll become even handsomer, and then you'll have all the girls chasing after you. Grandma, I'm too young to think about that kind of thing. A likely story. I got married to Chia when she was only 17, and I haven't regretted it since. Too young indeed. But I'm not even 17 yet, so it's still far too early. It's never too early to start planning ahead. The early bird catches the worm. I don't know if I should think about girls as worms. I don't think you should start counting your chickens before they've hatched either. Yes. You just have to do your best. Grandma will be rooting for you. Appreciate the sentiment, but rooting for me in what? Well, you know, this old woman hopes to live to see the birth of some cute grandchildren one day, you know. Great-grandchildren? Yes. I started to knit some little socks already. It's the only thing that keeps me going. Honestly, that kind of reminds me of my own grandma. One Christmas, she actually gifted us all hand-knitted little booties for the kids, or great-grandkids that we hadn't even started having yet. Since then we've had, we're on 6 great-grandchildren at the moment. And boy, is my grandmother over the moon about it. Yeah, anyway. It'd be nice to have some little nippers around again. Oh, getting so old already. I'm not that old. Can't even drink yet. I'm not as cute as you used to be. Hey. I think I've had enough people picking on me today after this. I don't need you guys picking on me some more. It would use up far too much wool if I tried to knit you socks now, at your age. Frail lady such a myself might kill her before she'd finish a single pair. Not sure if I'd describe my grandmother as frail. Even though she is around 80, she is as energetic as a small child passing notes and giggling in class. For Chia's sake, you'll have to do your best, lad. Why do old people like to tease their grandchildren so much about marriage? Are they really so starved for drama that they had to resort to something that cruel? Why can't they just watch TV soap operas like everyone else? Some of them are really good. Just isn't fair at all. Fresh air feels good. Breathe in deeply. Though it sounds cliche, the air in the country really does feel more refreshing than the air in the city. Maybe that's why my grandparents still act like children. Honestly, teasing me like that. It's dark outside. I think it might be around 8 or 9 p.m. Not entirely sure. There are no large roads that run through this small village. As such, there's no need for street lamps. That means when it starts to get dark out here, it gets really dark. One would think it's unsafe to wander around at night. No visibility coming from the moon. But that isn't really true. Because so few people live here, everybody knows everyone else, Ryman is safe. Don't feel any particular worry. In actuality, I was feeling more concerned sitting in the living room with my grandparents, being teased about great-grandchildren and tiny knitted socks for tiny newborn feet. I shudder. I know my grandparents got married when they were only 17, but I can't imagine starting a family that young. I do have my friends back in the city, Sakai, Miho, and Yuna, but wouldn't consider marrying them. Thought hadn't even crossed my mind. More importantly, I'm sure none of them would want to marry me either. Can't think of anything particularly attractive about me that would make me appealing to girls. I'd be more surprised than anything else if one of my female friends did decide to confess to me. In fact, I'd probably assume it was all some kind of joke. Then there's Amu. I like her a lot, always have done, but we've known each other since we were little. Thinking about that seems kind of strange. It is true that I like her, but I've known her for far too long. She's like a sister to me. Sure, if me knew I was seriously considering being in a relationship with her, she'd just laugh in my face. And then there's Noelle. No way. But the moment I think of this, I start to feel guilty. I had to reprimand myself verbally, shaking my head at my own thoughts. It is true that Noelle was my closest friend for a very long period of time, but that is something I don't want to think about. After a few moments of musing, trying to force my brain to think about something less embarrassing than potential wives, I come to my senses. Realize, without being really conscious of my own actions, that I've ended up here. Right at a small wooden building, separated from the rest of the village by fields and trees. It's a worn and ramshackle structure that stands all alone, seeming to creak and moan in the wind. It's a school. The only school in the village. My old school, elementary, middle, and high school combined. In the gathering dark with the pale moon beginning to rise, the building looks like something from a ghost story, eerie and sinister. I shiver, cold wind snaking up my spine, through my jacket. Didn't notice before, but it's getting pretty chilly. Maybe that's why I can't hear the cicadas. It's too cold for them, so they're all hiding. It makes the atmosphere feel strangely melancholy, as though something vital is missing. Don't really like being here. Makes me feel uneasy. Want to go back. Turn around, ready to retrace my steps when... I hear it. Faint creaking sound, carried over some distance. If I were in a horror movie, that would be the noise that would signal my impending demise at the hands of some apparition from hell. However, even though I'm easily startled, I do know better than that. Though I don't like ghost stories, I'm sensible enough not to believe in them. Even though, as a child, I did used to check in my wardrobe for monsters every night before I went to bed. It isn't a completely alien noise. In fact, I recognize it. When I was younger, it was a sound I heard a lot. The sound of a swing. To be more precise, it's the sound of the old rusty swing situated in a small playground around the back of the school. Playground, overgrown with grass and flowers, was where I used to play during break time at school. Even though it only contained a few swings and a slide, I still found it fun. Because there was so little playground equipment, a lot of the bigger children would get there first, showing the younger ones out of the way. Remember during that time, 12-year-old Amu was remorseless. She would shout at the older kids and threaten to hit them, so they ran away in fear. That way the younger children could play. I think the little kids saw Amu as some kind of hero because of her exploits. It really does take me back. But who's playing at the swings at night? There's one of the kids from the village, though they can't be too young, or else they would be allowed out by themselves. Even though the village is relatively safe, no parent would want their child out by themselves in the cold. Not at this time. So, who could it be? Curious. Suddenly, walk around the back of the school building. Take great care where I place my feet, trying not to make any noise. Don't know why, but I feel kind of excited. Also, a little bit scared. Heart pounds in my chest. Thoughts tick over quickly, running through a list of possibilities. Maybe it's a ghost after all. Ghost of a young child playing on a swing in the middle of the night under the full moon. Yeah, right. It's just I believe something like that. Or it could be just the wind pushing it. Hopefully. Maybe. Creep over the small park quietly. Wind rustles through the long grass, the surrounding trees. Owl hoots overhead. I walk closer. Closer. And closer. Then my breath catches in my throat. On a rusty swing, moving back and forwards through the air. I see her. Figure with pale skin, shining under the moonlight. Wearing a white dress, sleeveless. Far too exposing for this weather, surely. Her arms are long and slender. Even at a distance, they look too thin. But only so they can snap in two at the slightest bit of pressure. Her white skirt billow out and around her bare legs. Hair flutters around her shoulders, caught in the wind as she moves back and forth. Each movement, I can hear it. The sound of the old swing set, creaking in protest. Every kind of wail, mixed with the sound of the wind. It really does look like a ghost. Dressed entirely in white, that pale hair and pale skin. One could be forgiven for letting out a cry of alarm, taking an involuntary step backwards out of fear. Heart stopping in the chest, eyes widening in surprise. Man, this is an epic sounding song though. Quite like it. Ghost girl playing on a swing in the darkness under the full moon. An aesthetic experience that would make for a beautiful photograph, a frightening campfire story. But I know it isn't true. This is no ghost. Moon at a distance, even after 2 years. I know her. Recognize her face almost as quickly as I recognize my own in the mirror. It's Noelle. Don't think she's seen me. Still swinging back and forth, like a metronome. Should I go up to her? But what would I say? It's been 2 years. 2 whole years. It's been a long time. Will she forgive me? Do I deserve to be forgiven? Is she angry? Is she upset? Does she feel betrayed? Or, worst of all, does she feel indifferent? Does she no longer care for me at all? Certainly won't be the same girl who used to hide behind my back, clinging to my shirt. Too much time has passed. But she's still Noelle. Still my best friend. No matter how much time passes, that will never change. Right? If that's really true, then why is my heart pounding so hard? Choices. Do I approach her or not? I mean, we come all this way, so let's approach her. Hey, what are you even thinking? As if you can just turn around and leave now. Mother's under my breath, speaking harshly, as though trying to chastise myself. Can't turn around and leave. Not now. I mean, we apparently already did that once 2 years ago, so gotta not do it again, I guess. I know this. Though I still feel nervous, I can't let that worry get the better of me. Been worrying about this for far too long. Need to move forward. Sound of my footsteps, weak and hesitant, mingle with the noise of the swing, creaking in the breeze. Heart feels heavy as though it's made of lead, dragging my body down. I can't succumb. Can't. I give up now. What would she think? Would she probably hate me more than she already does? Can't afford to let her down. Not again. I don't want her to betray, or I don't want to betray her expectations. With a thought in mind, I enter the park. It's eerie, lit only by the light of the moon. I've only ever been in here during the day before. Though I've known these friendly, familiar surroundings ever since I was little, they seem strange now. Foreboding. Almost like an alternate reality. Make my way over to the rusty old swing set. Set down the spare swing beside Noelle. At this point, she must have seen me. No way she couldn't. But she doesn't say anything. She just continued to swing back and forth, back and forth. Eyes look misty and far away. Pale hair shimmers in the moonlight. Can't help but think, even now, must be some kind of mirage. And it's all a dream. I want to reach out to her now. I feel as though my fingertips would poke right through her, out to the other side. In that case, if it's a dream, doesn't matter what I say. Something in my carriage, you know my heart is beating so fast, I wonder it doesn't leap out of my mouth. I start to talk. After 2 years, I introduce myself anew. Hey, Noelle? It's me. Voice is quiet, but she still hears me. Seems to snap out of her trance, turns her head to one side, ever so slightly. Eyes meet mine. Large, light blue, lined with long lashes. She doesn't look surprised. Expression doesn't flicker. Instead, she merely nods, very slight acknowledgement. So I'm any old acquaintance. Utterly meaningless person. But at least she stopped swinging. Motions come to a halt. Grinding, creaking noise dies down, followed by the silence of the night. The sound of the wind. Somehow, without that noise, the atmosphere starts to feel even more intense. Although I found that hard grating Though I found the sound grating now, I almost wish I had it back. And Noelle was still swinging. Then rapid thud, thud, thud. My heart beating wouldn't sound so stupidly loud. Well, venture again, voice shaking. Spunk, she nods her head. Is really you? Gives me another nod. Very slight motion. One that could be easily missed, but I catch it out of the corner of my eye. Well, it was always like this. Quiet. Do you recognize me? Ak-chan? Voice is soft. Doesn't use my real name. Instead, it's that nickname. When a moo coined for me in childhood, it's stuck ever since. Somehow it feels very nostalgic. Very warm. Yeah, it's me. Ak-chan. You came back? Just for a little while, but I came back. I still think of you the whole time, though. I missed you. Ak-chan. Ak-chan? Oh, looks at me with her large light blue eyes. Some people say that her intense gaze is disturbing, but I never thought that. Silence encircles us. It takes a short while to piece together our thoughts and feelings. It's hardly surprising. It's been a long time since we last saw each other. A small smile, barely visible, against a bloom on her lips. Ak-chan. Welcome home. Okay, good. She isn't gonna murder me just yet. Good for now. Two of us sit there for a while, neither of us saying a word. Cold wind brushes against my skin, making me shudder. Takes me a while before I can find the words, dredging them up out of my head into my mouth. They're words I should have said long ago. Well, I'm sorry. Huh? Why are you sorry? I don't understand. You don't? No. Then you're not angry at me? Why should I be angry? Because I wince. Because I left you. It was so important to me, but I still left. I know, but I'm not angry. Really? Yeah. It's not your fault that your parents moved away. Why should I blame you for that? Because even though we were always so close, I was scared, worried you'd be upset. I didn't want to hurt you. I was a coward. I was weak and I never told you. That's right. The reason I felt so guilty, because of that. I told my best friend I was leaving. One day I was there, eating lunch with her at school, doing our homework together. The next day, I was gone. Told everyone else, but one person I didn't tell was the one person who would care the most. It was all because I was a coward, far too afraid to see unhappy, too afraid to break the bad news. I really am the worst. Don't you feel betrayed? I think everybody has to change at some point. Nothing stays the same forever. But you're angry, right? Weren't you angry? Mel turns her head to one side, lips punning a small O. Do you want me to be? Of course not, but then it would be. I didn't like being angry. It doesn't ever change anything. It only makes things more difficult. It's a pointless emotion. But whether it has a point or not, I think that after what I did to you, you have a right to feel just a little bit angry. Maybe I did feel a little bit sad, but not angry. Sad? Our fun times came to an end so quickly. It was upsetting. I'm sorry. I didn't want to make you sad. It's alright. I'm not sad anymore. Why not? Cold breeze runs through the park, making me shudder. Her underwear skirt ripples like ocean waves. She always did dress in white, didn't she? Because you came back. You came back to me and said sorry. So there's no reason to be sad. Not anymore. And with these words, Noah smiles at me. It's a gentle smile devoid of malice. The two of us sit together for a while in companionable silence under the moon. Rusty equipment of this old park is bathed in the silver light from the moon, making the mundane look eerie and haunting. It really does feel like some kind of fantasy. The sharp feeling of metal against my bare fingers helps to keep me grounded. Cold burrows into my flesh, making my fingers spasm. Aren't you cold? Not really. You sure you don't want my jacket? I'm sure. But you're wearing a sleeveless dress. Can't be comfortable, can it? I'm used to it. People can get used to a lot of things. Yeah, I guess that's true. I did move to the city after all. I don't think I can live in the city. I don't know if you'd say that if you could see the convenience stores out there. You can buy almost anything you want, all around the clock. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, anything? Yeah, anything. Even those jello drinks you like so much. Jello? Do they sell all kinds of different flavors? Yeah, all different kinds. Big convenience stores, you know. Really? Really? Well, it isn't a lie. Why would I lie about something so trivial? Mom leans forward on the seat of her swing. Grace says she does so. Strangely happy expression on her face, one that I never usually see. Even her cheeks look a little flushed. Is there even strawberry Jello? Of course there is. It has a common flavor. And melon? Yes. Wow. And grapefruit, kiwi, and apple, and millet, and grape, and leech, and bean paste, and blueberry, coffee, pineapple, passion fruit, lemon, and plum? My god, that was a mouthful. I think I didn't hear every single thing you said, but probably. And yet, despite my lackluster reply, Noelle seems satisfied. With a trimming sigh, she smiles brightly. Aw, so adorable. Too bad she's probably gonna kill me later. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, convenience stores really are amazing. If you live in the city, you don't need to walk 40 minutes into the next town just to get some Jello. What age we live in? It really is convenient, huh? Here's the term convenience stores. But that's no good. No good at all. Huh? Thought you were excited by all the Jello. I am excited by the Jello. All girls love Jello. Don't know if that's true, but don't interrupt. But the store that sells this Jello is only a few minutes away. But I know it wouldn't be as much fun. Fun? Yeah. You have to walk a long way to buy something. You feel like you've tried hard. It's okay to reward your effort with a treat. But if your goal is only 5 minutes away, because you can buy a lot of Jello whenever you want, it would feel less special. Less special, huh? Yes. Things have the most worth if you can't have them all the time, whenever you want them. Makes you appreciate them more. Surprised to hear that you say that, considering how much you love that Jello. But it's precisely because I love the Jello that I don't eat it every day. It's so it continues to feel special. Special? A nice way of saying it. Yes, just like our meeting right here. This is also special. It might be more special than all of our other meetings put together. Really? But we haven't spoken about anything important. It doesn't matter, because it's been such a long time. It's special. But even if you say that, I'm leaving in 2 days. We're not gonna have much time to be together. Expect Noelle to be upset by the news. This is our first reunion after 2 years. Don't know when I'll be able to see her next. Shouldn't that make her sad? Definitely makes me sad. However, Noelle's reply is strange. It isn't what I expected at all. 2 days is still enough. It's plenty. Huh? I mean, plenty of time to plot to kill me? I mean, the fact that our time together is short. We could feel sad about it. We could get angry. We could cry. And we could murder. But that wouldn't create happy memories. To be happy, we should recognize that it's precisely because our time together is short. It becomes even more precious. Listen to Noelle's voice, and it washed over me like a wave. I think I'm starting to understand. Doing our best to find happiness in unhappy circumstances. With her way of thinking, she's able to take things that should be sad, guard them in such a way that brings joy to her instead. She really is a strong person, isn't she? Far stronger than I am. Do you understand what I mean? Might be a little too complicated. Maybe. No, I think I get it. It's like the Jello, right? You can't eat the Jello all the time. You take it for granted. But if you only have it every once in a while, it tastes even more delicious. That's right. That's exactly right. Even though I was sad when you left, maybe it was for the best. The best? Yes. That's because it stopped me from taking you for granted. It made me realize just how much you mean to me. No says this simply, without a trace of embarrassment. Never been the type of person who gets embarrassed. Just states what she thinks. I, on the other hand, start to go red. I want to reply to her honest feelings. Want to tell Noelle that her friendship, or rather her presence, her existence, means a lot to me. It might be a little too forward though. Maybe Noelle would read too much into it, or maybe I'm the one reading too much into it. I don't know. Yeah, we've kind of noticed that you kind of overreact to things, so. Okay, fuck it, let's go all in. You mean a lot to me too. Even though I mean it earnestly, can't help but blush as I say such an embarrassing line. I'm just not cut out for flattering ladies. I'm nothing like my grandfather when he was young. No, we're related, our blood is completely dissimilar. Guess I won't be honoring my grandparents' request for great-grandchildren anytime soon. What are you thinking about, Ak-chan? Huh? Look at Noelle and Lam, now flapping open like a fish. Fairly rare for Noelle to laugh, so the fact that she started giggling must mean I look exceptionally stupid. Yeah, not the first time today. Your face has gone a strange colour. I'm curious. It's nothing, really. Are you sure? I'm sure. I just feel a little hot. Hot? But when you said you were cold earlier? How mysterious. Yes, it really is mysterious. Life is full of surprises. Elle continues to giggle to herself. Even though the source of her laughter is my own stupidity, I'm not happy about it. Seeing Noelle laugh like this, with a genuine smile on her face, makes me happy too. It takes Noelle a few moments to get her giggles under control. Once they're subsided, she starts to look a little guilty. Notice expression on her face. She looks kind of like a little kid who's just been scolded. I'm sorry. Was I being mean? No, it's okay. It wasn't mean. Seems kind of mean, since you have been so kind to me, and it's nothing, really. But you've always been so kind to me from the moment I met you. That matters a lot to me. It does. I start to flush red again. Cheeks burn. This is one way of keeping warm in this cold weather, but thank you, Ak-chan. Though I was rude and laughed at you, really am glad that you liked me. Truly. It makes me feel happy. Then, I start to stammer. I think this is a kind of situation. Look good if I said something cool like, "Don't worry about it, darling," or "It's fine, baby doll." But yeah, I don't see you saying that kind of stuff. That sounds far too sleazy. Yeah, I thought it's exactly it. Mere thought of saying something like that is so embarrassing, I think my head might explode. I'm sorry. Not very good at this, and I'm not cool enough to receive compliments so easily. One odd thing to say. You're funny, Ak-chan. I wasn't trying to be funny. Don't worry, I like the uncool you the most. It suits you. Just the way you are. Oh. Thank you. Wait, what? Did she just make fun of me? I'm not really that uncool, am I? It's not a bad thing to be uncool. It's a part of your identity. It's who you are. Noah smiles at me with the sweetness of a slice of angel cake. But behind that expression, there's something else. It looks so pretty deep down inside, beneath all that artfully applied icing. The cake has started to go stale. She's teasing me, isn't she? Being made fun of by someone wearing such a pure and beautiful expression is pretty depressing. Yeah, I've been completely defeated. Is that a KO? Yeah, it was a real ring out, with only 10 seconds left on the clock. I was that strong? You really were. It was a very powerful technique, completely unparalleled. Yay! You demon. I get a feeling we don't know the half of it. Well, giggles, a smiley face bathed under the milky light of the moon. Despite her rekindled closeness, I still feel anxious. Filled with nervous energy. Don't know what to do with it. Feet start tapping against the floor. I grip tightening around the cold metallic chains that support the swing. And thirdly, I remember. Remember no one was home from earlier, when I went to visit. Remember the darkened windows, gloomy atmosphere, the for sale sign in the front garden. What's going to happen to Noelle? Hey, Akchan? Noelle's voice, soft and gentle, carries through the wind, drawing me out of my thoughts. Akchan? Are you alright? Yeah, I'm okay. I was just thinking. What were you thinking about? You look sad. I'm not sad, I'm just confused. Confused? But why? It's just, I went to try and visit your house earlier today and, you did? I didn't see you. I know. You weren't in. Pearl's car wasn't in the driveway. Oh, yes. Might have been something like that. And I noticed in your garden there was a sign. A sign saying your house is for sale? Yes, there might also be something like that. Voice trails off. Doesn't elaborate. There's something she doesn't want to discuss. If that's the case, maybe I should drop it. Talk about something else. Anything else. What else? Just as I began to open my mouth, unexpectedly, Noelle starts talking. Speaks in a rush, not the typical measured tones I so often associate with her. Sounds like she's trying to say something quickly. Something painful. My parents don't like living here very much. Even though you live in such a large house. I thought it would be nice to live in the countryside. Peaceful. But I think they're quite impatient people. That doesn't surprise me. Let's find Noelle's mother with her pristine white blouse and brisk attitude, a little scary. So, you're leaving? Noelle picks up at a loose thread in her dress. I suppose so. Do you know when? Maybe when the house gets sold? Or maybe not. It might not get sold. Grandpa said new people aren't interested in moving here. Oh, nods briefly. Expression on her face suddenly seems so despondent, almost entirely devoid of life. Need to say something. How can I cheer her up? Oh, I get choices? Do you know where you're moving to? Question is met with silence. Under the moonlight, we wait. darkness, we wait. Together, we wait. Not too far away, is the eventual reply. Not too far? No, not too far. She repeats this again. Looks slightly surer, more self-confident this time. Almost as though reading through lines were a play. She's telling the truth? I don't know, but probably be rude to keep asking. If she doesn't want to tell me, then she doesn't want to tell me. And that's fine. It's what I deserve. One more silence steals over us like a shroud. All I can hear is the sound of the wind through the trees. Wonder how long I've been out here, singing on these swings with Noelle. It must have been quite a while by now. Maybe it's gotten so cold I can hardly feel them. Can Noelle be comfortable sitting out here like this, wearing a dress? I don't understand. I've always been a mysterious person. Hey, Chan? What is it? I was thinking, are you only going to be here for 2 more days? Do you want to see me tomorrow? Look at Noelle. She looks back at me. Just what is she thinking? What about Amu? 2 days isn't very long. I already told Amu I'd spend more time with her. But when Noelle looks at me like that, with large green eyes, I feel like it'd be a cool thing to refuse her. I end up giving a vague and non-committal reply. Too hard for me to say a simple yes or no. I don't want to upset anybody. I've always been indecisive like this. When I get into difficult situations, Kai's scolded me about it enough times. If you don't want to do something, just say no. It's not going to kill you, you know. It's what she always says anyway. I should try and be stronger. One day I'm sure I'll manage. But right now... Action? Now. It's not the time. I can't believe this. I feel exhausted. It's only 10:30 p.m. Sound of Sakai's voice, slightly distorted through whatever wires that connected our phones together, makes me relax. Body slumped boneless against the wooden floor in the hallway of my grandparents' home. Today was such a busy day. Coming reacquainted with all the familiar sights from my old life was fun, yes, but also disorienting. I'd gone back in time. Almost made me forget, for a while, that I even had a life in the city to go back to. New friends who were waiting for me, relying on me. Friends like Sakai. Faces flushed with heat from my bath, my hair sticking to my forehead in damp tendrils like pondweed. Just like yesterday, roundabout slightly too hot and stayed in it for far too long. Body is suffering for it. Feel strangely weak. Like a newborn kitten, it's difficult even to raise my head. Coolness of the wooden floorboards under my bare legs sends pins and needles through my body, making me shiver. Look at my toes just to ensure I still have control over them, that they're still a solid physical part of my body. Trying to distract myself from the uncomfortable sensation rippling up through the pads of my feet, asked Sakai a question. Do you have a busy day? Not even that. It wasn't busy since I didn't have anywhere to go, anybody to see. It was exhausting. Somebody sure know how to shout. I'll say that for them. Sakai groans. Let's hear her stretching from here, cracking her joints at her wrists and ankles. Something Sakai does a lot, much to the irritation of our teachers. Also cracking her wrists. Oh, she's always cracking her wrists, especially during exams when we're supposed to be silent. I think she's just has a morbid fascination with human bodies. She is one of the best in our year biology after all. Anybody that genuinely intrigued by internal organs and dead animals must have some appreciation for the macabre. And they're still watching Heidi? No. Moved on from that now. Then shouldn't that make you happy? I would be. And graduate whatever that is. Sure about the bluebird? The very one, she sighs. If I ever see that damn bluebird of happiness, I'm gonna wring its neck. How cruel. Making somebody watch that shit for hours on end is truly a cruel thing. I've had that opening song stuck in my head all day. It's a nice song. It's annoying. I'm going crazy here. Crazy? I was crazy once. Lock me in a room. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Anyway. I think I'm regressing. Almost a nuisance as they time the two of us yawn. But the heavy bags under her eyes. Don't know if I've heard Sakai yawn like that before. She has too much pride to display a weakness so openly. Jeez. Tired at 10:30 p.m. Feel like I need putting to bed and tucking up. How pathetic. Girl who loves the gothic so much, going to sleep so early must be nothing short of an indignity. Can't think off the top of my head many vampires who have a strict 10:30 p.m. curfew. I'm worried Vlad is going to pick up bad habits from all the asinine children's anime he's been subjected to, poor thing. Vlad being Sakai's interestingly named pet, Butcherica? What kind of bad habits could a Budgie pick up? Well, I'm not sure. Been trying to teach him to say a few things, but I'm but a bird in a cage, and where's the nature of man? But it hasn't been going so well. Because Vlad is a budgie, not a parrot. Budgies can't talk. I know that, but I just thought if I tried hard, maybe we could make some kind of progress. There was a TV show on the other day with the talking cats, wasn't there? I think I remember that. Watched a show with my mother after dinner, thinking it would be something charming, but to have those house cats purring out things that vaguely sound like human speech in oddly low, guttural tones was actually quite frightening. Wasn't cute or refreshing at all. Instead, it just made me think, has science gone too far? Cats and budgies are still pretty different. More different than budgies and parrots. I keep making an effort, I'm sure I'll work it out eventually. My siblings would stop watching that crappy kids anime while I'm trying to teach him. That is. It's stunting his growth. I think stunted might be a good term for poor Vlad in general. Living in a home filled with very noisy children really has taken a toll on that old bird. Last time I went to Sakai's house, Vlad didn't do anything other than cower in the corner of his cage, trembling while his feathers fell out. Poor thing. Anyway, Sakai, come because, brought you a present. The girl instantly vanishes from Sakai's tone. Now she sounds genuinely intrigued. Oh, you did? I brought it from an antique store. Think you'll like it. Ah, an antique. Do have a passion for the old and the rustic, it is true. Although she's trying to sound cool, I can tell she's excited. If you see Sakai right now, I'm sure she'd be smiling. Do you want me to tell you what it is? Huh? No, of course not. It'd ruin the surprise. What's the point in buying somebody a present if you tell them what it is? Suspense is the part of the appeal. I should have known. I laugh, shaking my head. Beads of water drip down my forehead, a slight motion, falling from the tip of my nose. Talking to Sakai, listening back to the new life, really is relaxing. Yet, at the same time, I can't quite shake the mounting feeling of dread nestled in the pit of my stomach. It's about Noelle. Ever since I saw her in the park this evening, I haven't been able to stop thinking about her. Hey, Achan. Sakai's voice sounds oddly light, a little more reserved than usual, without a single trace of cynicism. Is she worried about me? I was wondering. How are you finding it, being back at your old home? Not too awkward, is it? Well, I pause, pondering, still thinking about Noelle. Cast my mind back to the sign outside of Noelle's home. A sign that read, "As clear as day, for sale." Noelle is moving. Not going to stay here much longer, and I don't know why or where she is going. Can't help but worry. It's what I do. Good at worrying. It's my special skill. Just like Amu is good at baseball, Noelle is good at drawing. Sakai is good at telling the most horrific of ghost stories. I'm good at worrying. Not a particularly useful skill. In fact, gets me into far more trouble than it's worth. But it's part of me, I suppose. Without it, the me I am right now could cease to exist. Can I tell Sakai about my anxieties, though? To begin with, these worries are so vague and nebulous, I'm not entirely sure what they're about myself. Besides, Sakai already has her hands full with taking care of her rowdy siblings. I don't want to be a further burden upon her. I already shared my worries with Sakai in the past, far too many times to count. I didn't have Sakai to turn roll her eyes, bring me back down to reality. Don't know if I'd be able to cope with the residual, well-related guilt that keeps keeping up with me. Really is fair. Is it really fair to keep relying on it like this? I just don't know. Oh, do I tell her or not? I mean, why shouldn't we tell Sakai? I mean, if she wasn't really bothered by it by now, she would have said so. So, I mean, she seems the type that would tell it how it is. Well, show her around, trying to get comfortable. I think I might be fighting a losing battle, though. Back is pressed up against the wall and I'm starting to get cramp in my legs. Today, I saw one of my friends, Noelle, the quiet one who likes drawing. That's right. One you still haven't sent a letter to, even though I kept telling you it'd be for the best. I squirm, my face flushing. One thing I appreciate about Sky is that she never minces her words. Means everything she says. However, this can be a curse as well as a blessing. Kai's been on my case to write to Noelle for the last 2 years, ever since I told her I hadn't done it. According to Sakai, ignoring the girl who was supposedly my best friend for such a long time is bad form, completely cold and callous and ungallant. I tried to counter, saying I wasn't at all that gallant to begin with. Sakai rolled her eyes and said, "It's the principle of the thing." No, I never did write to her. Well, at least you got to talk to her. It's better than nothing. Yeah, I suppose. Can't imagine she was too impressed to see you, though. What do you mean? I mean, you left without saying goodbye and you ignored her for 2 whole years? Kind of treatment has got to sting. Oh, I definitely... I get the feeling it's probably going to come bite me in the ass sooner or later. Wouldn't be surprised if she's holding a grudge. Well, I thought that might be the case too, but seemed to take it rather well. And she's the kind of person that I am. Either that or she's a really good liar. Who doesn't tell lies? Sure about that? She isn't that kind of person. Maybe she isn't the kind of person to tell a lie maliciously, but if it's a little white lie to save your self-esteem, who knows? Maybe she thought she'd feel bad if she scolded you, so she tried to brush her own feelings under the rug. Maybe? Maybe she was upset with me? Unless she's some kind of saint, I'd say there's a decent chance. Like 99% or so. It's that high, huh? Well, I can't say. Never met your friend before. Everything I know about her, I've learned through you. And second-hand accounts are never reliable as first-hand experience. But if I were in her shoes, then I would be mad at you, Yak-chan. No matter how frail and little you are. I'd be really, really mad. I'll try not to get on your bad side then, Sakai. See to it that you don't. I'm rather good at holding grudges. Feel she would creep down my spine. Don't doubt that at all. Going to the gory movie Sakai seen, I'll bet she has a great deal of knowledge on exactly how to settle those grudges too. And probably how to get away with murder and where and how she can hide a body. Maybe that's why she didn't want to tell me. Maybe she was mad at me. Tell you what? Oh, I went by a house today. I noticed in her front garden there's a for sale sign. I think she might be moving. Huh? Now that is interesting. Yeah, thought so too. I was really shocked, but throw my knees up underneath my chin, wrapping my arms around them. Balanced the phone on the crook of my neck, pressed between my ear and my shoulder. I tried to ask Noelle about it, but she didn't really tell me all that much. Moon never told me in her letters either. All feels like some big conspiracy. Maybe she didn't tell you because she didn't want to talk about it? Might be a painful subject. I mean, you never told Noelle you were moving either, did you? That's true. Thought has crossed my mind. Don't feel upset that she didn't want to confide in you. It has been 2 years since you last spoke to one another after all. She might have felt too awkward. I did think maybe it would be hypocritical to complain. Try not to pry too much, even though I want to know more. Well, it's a start. Based on how you treated her, I don't know if you have any right to start demanding answers. You sound like I'm a bad person. You sound like you think I'm a bad person, Sakai. I don't think you're bad. Not really. In all honesty, Sakai swallows. Here, through the other end of the line. I like you. I think you're a sweet person, thoughtful too. Certainly worry about others a lot. But at the same time, I think you can also be quite self-centered. Self-centered? With all the fretting, I mean. You can't help it, it's just part of who you are, but sometimes you worry so much that it stops you from doing the right thing. Thing that you know you should do. Like saying goodbye to Noelle. Keeping in contact with her. Like being a good friend. Slumped down against the wall, curled up on myself in a ball. Hair still damp, but not as much as before. I think the after effects of that sauna-like soak are beginning to wear off. I think you're right. Sorry, Sakai. Hey, you don't need to apologize to me. You never hurt me like that before. That's right. Sakai wasn't the one I hurt. It was Noelle. Now I'm going to have to pay the price, whatever that price may be. Even if that price is your life. I hope I haven't bothered you anyway. Huh? Of course you haven't bothered me. Why would you think that? Because, I don't know. Listening to my worries might not be... Well, my worries must be quite boring. I don't want to be a pain. You're not a pain. And you think I'm glad you confided in me. You are? Yeah, I'm dying for some proper company. Been surrounded by children for the last 2 days. I don't know if I can take it anymore. There's no point in taking a serious hit. I'll try to hurry back as soon as possible then. Yes, please do. Otherwise, there may be a massacre. Oof. Maybe another foreshadowing of what's to come. It's really that bad? It's not just bad, it's awful. At the end of my rope here. Well, just try to hold on a little longer. We'll be back in 2 days. Only 2 days, huh? I'll mark it on my calendar. Try to last that dry, humorous laugh of hers. Which brings a small smile to my lips. Though it's only been a couple of days, I think I miss the guy too. Never really realized before, given we spent so much together in the last 2 years, but sardonic sense of humor and sarcastic asides really do help me going. Really do appreciate her. I rely on her too. More than I ever thought. I blink in surprise, pressing a hand against my cheek. Feels warm. I don't think it's from the bath. I'm blushing. Ooh, another love interest for the game. I lie on my futon in my grandparents' home, just as I did the night before. It was nice seeing Noelle again, even though it was a complete surprise, and I was a little nervous at first. But I do want to see her tomorrow. And what about Moo? I only have 2 days left. That isn't very long at all. Well, or Moo. Do I need to make a choice? Hopefully one of those choices doesn't lead to death.